Next at 5, the man who shot and killed 2 Cobb County deputies will spend the rest of his life in prison. Cobb County officials telling 11 Alive that Christopher Golden pleaded guilty to murder today.
He is accused of killing these 2 Cobb County deputies, Jonathan Koleski and Marshall Irvin Jr., as they served an arrest warrant back in September. Golden was facing the death penalty, but under a plea deal that had the blessing of the victims' families, he will now serve life without parole.
11 Alive's Joe Ripley explains what this new development actually means. Joe?
Yeah, good evening. For Golden, it means he avoids the death penalty and will spend the rest of his life behind bars. As for the deputies' families, it means finally closing at least one chapter of this tragic story.
Today, a man was brought to justice for the terror that he brought to our community.
Cobb County Sheriff Craig Owens, 3 months to the day, announcing a brighter future following a dark, tragic chapter for 2 of his deputies. In September, deputies Marshall Irvin Jr. and Jonathan Koleski were killed while serving a warrant at a home in Marietta. After an hours-long standoff, police arrested the confessed shooter, Christopher Golden.
That evildoer has stood before God today and man and acknowledged what he did.
Meantime, Golden's defense asked the Cobb County District Attorney to change his case from the death penalty to life without parole.
Our hearts are still hurting. But tonight, we will sleep a little softer, knowing that this case is behind us.
And although nothing will ever replace the lives of Marshall and John, this plea today will allow their families to put the case behind them and focus on healing.
Koleski was married, serving in the sheriff's office for 15 years before his death. Cobb DA Flynn Brody says he and Koleski were both in the same unit of the Army. Irvin was described as a family man and fierce protector, leaving behind a wife and 2 daughters. He served at the sheriff's office for 10 years. Tributes poured in from across the state for weeks, noting the blow to the law enforcement community.
But through the grace of God and the love and support of this community, in this great Cobb County community, their families, both blue and blood, will become stronger in this broken place.
And deputies had originally gone to that home in Marietta that day to serve a theft warrant on Christopher Cook. He was also taken into custody. As for his case, Cook's case is still active right now. It's weaving its way through the justice system, but when we get updates, we will bring those to you guys.
Absolutely, Joe. Hopefully this helps the family to move forward as they go through this tragic situation. Thanks a lot. By the way, to read more about the next steps in the investigation, just click on this story on 11alive.com.